you and I have been not quite on the same page today. Is that a fair thing?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
to say?
Yeah.
And part of it is we've just had a lot kind of going on.
I mean, we spend time and take time to read things like that book and
Yeah.
all the other books and listen to podcasts and all these things. And we still get tripped up. Welcome back to In Residence. I'm Keith.
And I'm Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Hey, Keith.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing swell. What are we talking about?
So I thought we could talk about connection today. And I just got a book for Christmas from Child 2 called How to Connect by Thich Nhat Hanh. And I'm just going to show it, right? I love the bees on the book. I think it's just really cute. And I saw this actually at an airport when I was traveling. And I thought, I really would love to read more about this because I was thumbing through it and it was resonating with me. And over winter break here, when I've had a couple weeks off, I've spent time reading it. And there's a couple different things in there that I thought would be fun to talk about.
Let's dig into it.
So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the idea about the book being a little different than what I thought it was going to be.
Okay, how so?
I thought with the title, How to Connect, it was going to be more like, what is the David Brooks book? How to know a person?
Yeah, yeah,
right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, okay, it's going to be really about outward connection of how do we connect with other people? How do we cultivate relationships? And it has some of that, but so much more of it is really about how do you form that connection with yourself?
Right, mindfulness.
Yeah. And it was different than I expected, but also a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
So one of the first things that they talked about was about the idea that we often disconnect our mind from our body, and that we often spend so much more time in our mind than we do in our physical shell.
Okay.
Is that what you would call it? I don't know.
Maybe.
That sounded a little, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
disconnected.
A little disconnected from it, actually, yes.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting because I do think that often we are, and you and I talk about wellness and health quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that there is a big part of me, at least, that really logically thinks that I can, since I know these things are good for me, I will simply do them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
But there is definitely a disconnect between what it is that I think and what I think is fun and all that and what I actually do.
Right.
Right. So I know sugar is not great for me, and yet I'm consuming sugar,
Tastes really
especially
good.
the last couple of weeks, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because it tastes good, or I know I should go out for a walk, connect with nature, be mindful, work my body and my muscles, and yet I am like, well, it's kind of nice just to sit here and read.
Or watch something.
Or
on
watch
TV.
something,
Yeah.
right? And I wanted to see if you've ever thought about that disconnection or maybe overemphasis of focusing on what your mind can do rather than how you can really cultivate and support your physical being.
Yeah. I mean, we both know that I spend a lot of time in my head. So I've got that down. But yeah, over the last while, I've been trying to turn those thoughts into actions, right? And seeing, like you said, we know a lot of the things that would help us get to where we want to be. But if it was that simple, we'd all have six packs and be billionaires, right? Like
Right.
there's
We know
there's something else beyond simply knowing.
Yeah.
2 + 2 is 4.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there's still something beyond that.
Right.
And I think you're onto something with reading texts like this from, like a Zen Buddhist
Yeah.
and these types of mindfulness things of connecting with not just your head, but your body and how you're feeling. And, it brings up for me like I was talking about going into the holidays of tuning into my senses
Right.
and using that to help me be present and aware and to almost process through that versus just through my head, right? And I had a couple opportunities to do that, and it was nice when I leaned into it, but I also didn't have to think about it. I just remembered, like, oh yeah, that's right. I was going to pay attention to those different ways that I can take in information or simply witness what's happening instead of thinking about it over and
Yeah.
over, and simply be, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I've spent quite a bit of time trying to be mindful, but I probably spend more time in my mind and kind of maybe come up a little short with the rest of it, which is connecting it to the rest of me
Right.
and listening and not simply trying to, because my mind, I think, is more telling me what I ought to be doing.
Yeah.
And like when I think of this type of mindfulness, it's and the connection between the mind and the body, it's more of being in tune with both.
Right.
And not, it's kind of like not disconnecting and or closing off or like disassociating from one or the other,
Yeah.
or like, and then another thing real quick that comes up is we have feelings for a reason and we tend to feel those in our body.
Yeah.
And so when they're strong or acute, no wonder we kind of push them away, and maybe find other ways to soothe versus tending to to that, right? So
Right.
anyway, but yeah, lots of things come up.
Yeah. Well, and I think you hit on a lot of things that I was thinking about of
Okay.
the emotions and like tying that
Yeah.
and really tuning in and knowing yourself and where you're at. And oftentimes throughout the book, they said recognizing your own struggle.
Yeah.
That's really hard, or I find that hard to do with myself of recognizing what is my struggle, what am I scared of or have fear of, what am I angry about? Like that's a hard one for me. Of what am I angry about? Because I normally don't admit that I'm angry,
Yeah.
right?
Not verbally,
Not
but
verbally. Sometimes the silence can
can
be.
read you like a book sometimes.
Sometimes,
No.
sometimes you think you can.
Yeah. No, we all it's perspective, right?
Right.
It's that's what it's about is how do you how do you shift your perspective on yourself? Like that's one of the hard things.
Yeah.
It's really easy to give advice to other people. It's hard to listen to yourself,
Right.
your own advice. And so yeah.
Yeah. And one of the pieces again that was a constant throughout the book, and it's something we know, but I liked how it was framed of saying that breathing and breathing exercise can really help you be more mindful, be more present, and that the breath really connects the mind and the body.
Yeah.
And I really didn't think about that before. But when I think about the meditation I do and things like that, it makes a lot of sense because you're doing a lot of that breathe in with certain mantras or phrases and breathe out with other things that you're noticing and really focusing on.
Well, it's like a newer thing for you, right? Like
Yeah.
over the last few
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Probably
And
the last 5 years.
like I took meditation in college.
Yeah.
And outside of it too, like I kind of pursued that stuff, and not that I do it all the time, but um breath work
Mm-hmm.
is not a foreign vocabulary word to me,
Yeah.
So, and it's something I remind myself of too, because I find
Yeah.
myself not taking full breaths, and also I'm like, I'll make a noise, and you're like, what? And I'm like, oh, I forgot to breathe, kind of thing. Like not actually breathe, but I forgot to allow myself to actually be in the breath and not simply like almost hyperventilating, like because
Yeah.
I'm like I'm so I don't know if I'm not present or I don't know what brings it up, but there's something that interrupts like just a nice rhythm of breath in me sometimes. And then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, okay, hold on. Let's take a beat. Let's fill up those lungs and then let's start a different cycle. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's that's a that's interesting to hear that focus on or just focusing on the fact that that breath can connect the two.
hmm
And I'm like, oh, of course, like because that's basically what you're working on when you're meditating.
Yeah. Another piece was he told a story about coming back to his hermitage, or hermitage is a house,
Yep.
kind of a right.
Yep. House.
We'll just
Yeah.
okay, so a
Yeah.
house, but um, really talked about how those nice days when you open the windows, it's beautiful. You go on a walk, or you go to work, or whatever. You're airing out the house, and then all of a sudden a big storm comes, and you go, "Oh my gosh!" Right? And you're like, "I need to go home, shut the windows," and things are probably blowing everywhere,
Yeah.
right? And really saying, okay, so when that happens, what do? You go home, you shut the windows, you clean the papers off the floor, whatever got blown over,
Yeah.
right? You wipe down whatever's wet.
Start drying it out.
Start drying it out.
I've left my car windows down before.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's terrible, isn't it? Like, yikes.
Didn't check the weather.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when that does happen, you react to it. And in this case, he went and he started a fire, put on lights, dried out things, created warmth because it was really cold in his house. The metaphor here is that is yourself, right? You are your own hermitage. So when you are finding yourself going through a storm or thinking nothing is going right, nothing is going my way, look at this mess that's happening,
Yeah.
either physically in your house, right? Or maybe things just don't feel like they're coming together the way you want it to. The best thing to do is pause, take a breath, and figure out, okay, it's the work right now for me to look inward, light my own light, create my own warmth, and then figure out how we're going to move forward.
Yeah.
And again, I thought that was really powerful just because sometimes we can get in our own way of kind of sitting in the yuck and the disorder and feel like, oh, woe is me.
Okay.
Right? Do you ever feel that way?
Well, when I hear you talking about that, it makes me think of how I like to come back to my place after I've been out in the world for a long time. Might not be that long time wise, but to me, it feels like a long time since I've been back, like my safe place, like my hermitage, right?
Yeah.
And that comes easier to me. Like that's natural to me to come back and to kind of insulate myself, right? Light my fire here, warm myself back up from being out. Like, I think that's the one story I did read where he was like airing out the place and then he went and then a storm came. So then not only is his place cold, but he was out in the rain too. So he's back and he's, all that stuff. So like when we talk about me being like introverted, right? And I need to come back and recharge, like that's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And so I'm just nodding along like, yeah, of course. And then when I think about you, it's more of you sometimes wait a little longer than maybe is best to like close up the windows and let things like settle kind of thing, or um we just have different we just have different scales when we reach that point, I think. And mine seems to trigger a little sooner.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And not in a good or bad way for either of us, but um yeah, there's something else there too about it's kind of like setting yourself up and taking care of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know. That's what it sounds like to me.
I even think about today a little bit. If it's okay, talk about that a little bit, where you and I have been not quite on the same page today. Is that a fair thing
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
to say?
Yeah.
And part of it is we've just had a lot kind of going on. It's the last day before winter break is done. We're just doing a whole bunch of things and trying to get everything in. So we had Packer game, Chargers game. You had to bring somebody to the airport. Trying to think what else. Oh, child 2 wanted help cleaning his fish tank.
Yep.
So that was kind of an unexpected gross job.
Spending time with family and friends.
Yep.
All the things that we've been meaning to do.
Yep.
Yeah, it all.
We have like a big River Falls, UW River Falls, like shout out.
Yeah.
They're in the national championship football game tonight. So we're trying to record something meaningful, but we only have so much time as well.
Yep.
So anyway, when you went to go drive to the airport, I sat there for a little bit and I'm like, okay, you just read this book and finished this book and you're preparing for an episode today on mindfulness and about the storm, right? And it's not whether or not Keith is frustrated or upset or whatever. And I don't know if you actually were. We were just missing each other a little bit from a, communication standpoint.
We're filling in the blanks for each other.
Which is never a good thing.
I don't think. Yeah. And if you think I'm frustrated and I'm not, well, that doesn't feel great on this end, or vice versa.
Right.
Whoever, not aligned kind of thing. Or
yeah. And I think times in the past, or probably in the future, but sometimes I would take kind of how we were showing up for each other and just that little disconnect or just not quite being in sync. And I would make that more than it needed to be. And I would let the window stay open, so to speak, and let it get more just like cold and just yucky and just feeling not great, and like double down and be like, but darn it, I want the house to clear out, like almost being stubborn to be like, no, I'm gonna weather this and it's not my fault. It's the storm's fault,
Okay, pull it away from the metaphor so that I understand and other people might understand what you're actually saying.
So what I'm saying is that sometimes it's easier when we have disagreements or we're not in sync to think, if Keith would only do X, Y, or Z, or communicate this way, or believe me when I'm saying this or that. It's really easy to get into that flow, of kind of blaming the external thing that is that you're making into that storm, or you're making be a thing.
You're more concerned with what's happening from outside to you.
Right.
And are you saying that you maybe took a beat and thought more of like what was happening inside of you?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. I needed to take a little time and be like, okay, so Keith has a lot on his mind, and so do you, right? Like, you're trying to figure out what do you need to bring with you this week for work. You're thinking about how am I going to get some goodies that child one wants from grandma and grandpa's house that we made, some rosettes and some krum kaka. Oh gosh, that fish tank needed to be cleaned, and we were going to do it over these last 2 weeks. And guess what? We haven't yet until today, last minute.
There's 16 hours before you leave.
Right? Am I going to be able to get to sleep because I've been staying up until midnight, not 9?
Yeah.
On and on that kind of goes, and that chatter kind of gets to the point where I was thinking, like, so not only am I carrying a lot, but Keith and I aren't in sync. So there's one more thing I'm carrying that's heavy, and it makes me sad, and it makes me, I don't know. I mean, just like a little frustrated, or just like scared a little bit that, oh gosh, is this what our entire evening's going to be? And to fear what might be isn't super helpful. either. So I guess I'm saying all of those things to say I had a moment where I thought, okay, so I've got a storm right now kind of within me. Some of it's overwhelm, some of it's fear, some of it
Yeah.
is just feeling a little disconnected from you. But the first thing that I need to figure out for myself is what's going on with me and what can I do to create that light and that warmth inside me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, okay, so one thing, it would make me feel better if I helped child to clean his fish tank because I told him I was going to, and it's a really great time for us to connect and talk.
Yeah.
Right. Like he was asking child one if he wanted to, say hi to his nephew, like his fish and stuff like that. It's just always, it's fun.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but it's fun. I made some soup, so we have good sustenance this week. I'll take some with me. I'll leave some here, and got to watch some football with child one as well. I guess what I'm saying is it's important to notice how your immediate reaction is and take a beat. And I was actually at the point, I was reading at the back of the book, they have some great exercises, some breathing techniques, some guided meditation. And I was doing some of those, and child two looked over at me because I went like that. And he's like, Mom, is everything okay? I'm like, oh, yes, I'm reading a book on mindfulness and I'm going through some of the exercises in the back of the book. And he goes, oh, okay. Okay. But that inhale and exhale like that.
Yeah.
I know he's asked me before, he's like, when people do that, I know that I should ask if they're okay because sometimes they're not.
Right. Was that a huff or was that a exhale?
Right.
a calming breath.
Yeah.
Or was that I'm exasperated?
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So it's so you went from kind of dealing with a little bit of chaos, like external and internal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the external was affecting the internal, and then you kind of found a way to process that and quiet the external a little bit. It seems like,
Mm-hmm.
and you went within.
Yep.
But then you came back out and you went to action.
Mm-hmm.
And you started to do the fish tank and create soup. So that's I've seen that kind of theme with me, that the like quieting myself, um, you know, going within a little bit, actually understanding why,
Mm-hmm.
why am I having the reaction I'm having,
Right.
and then moving to, okay, so what am I going to do about it? And usually it's like, what am I going to do so it doesn't continue to spiral in the
Mm-hmm.
direction I don't want it to, kind of
Right.
thing. So
Yeah.
how are you feeling after that and talking about it with me?
I'm feeling pretty good. I will admit the one piece that I need to think about more and maybe process is I think half the work is recognizing where you're at and getting curious about where you're at yourself. And so a lot of the book was about connecting with yourself and understanding where you're at, and that you're not going to be able to connect with other people or understand other people fully unless you fully understand your struggle, your fear, your anger, and that storm, right?
Right.
And so that's the work.
Right. Because if you don't, I don't know fully, but if you don't understand it to a certain point,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't accurately communicate it to the other person, and then they're not getting all the information.
Yeah.
Or that's how it feels on my side. If like you're just telling me that you're upset with me, then I might be like, what am I supposed to do with that? Oh, okay. Am I chewing too loud? Did I not notice I did something? You know what I mean? So then
Yeah.
the mindfulness comes back in of like, well, if I don't know why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, then how am I supposed to expect you to know?
Right.
Like that's what it comes down to for me. So,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean, I think we both, I mean, we spend time and take time to read things like,
Mhm.
you know, that book and
Yeah.
all the other books and listen to podcasts and all these things.
Mhm.
And we still get tripped up.
Yeah.
Like you said, it is the work. Like the real work isn't happening when we're just like skipping along together and like singing along to a soundtrack that we like, you know,
Yeah.
or a musical.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what happens when neither one of us took enough time for ourselves so that we could give more of each other to each other,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And but like, you know, we've weathered many storms.
Yeah.
And this was like a little rain shower, I think, you know, I guess.
Yeah.
But it did bring up it was a great situation to hold on to for a little bit in a good way and not let it um I guess pass without acknowledgement,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um yeah, I don't know. Hope I didn't make it too crabby.
No. No, and it wasn't even that. It was more I think it was more like you thought I was crabby, but I didn't think I was crabby.
Yeah.
And then I thought you were crabby, but you're like, but I'm not crabby. So it was one of those
things,
things where you're like, is this really what we're going to spend our time on today?
Yeah. And we didn't that much. I mean,
No, we actually didn't.
I mean, I told you, I'm like, I'm not upset. You know, I'm like, we'll just work through it. Yeah, I'm like, I've got to go do this, and you're gonna go do that. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so I think the main thing is just knowing that you need to know yourself or work on getting to know who you are and what makes you tick before you can truly understand other folks. That's the important work is that internal um, self knowledge piece. And I think that's good. It's not easy work always, right?
Yeah.
But it's important. And when in doubt, work on your breathing.
There you go. All right. Are we keeping it that short?
I think so.
Like a good
I think
place
so. I mean, it's just the beginning of the new year. We'll come back next week with probably something a little longer, but
yeah.
I just wanted everyone to get a little taste and encourage folks if they're into that, pick up the book. And there is a lot of great stuff about how to connect with others and finding your community. I will give a pitch for that too. It does also talk about community and connection with others and the earth. So it goes through all of those layers. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice, uplifting read. So I'm probably going to bring it with me and revisit some of those daily, kind of almost a daily mantra or teaching.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing it.
Should I show it one more time?
Yeah, show it again real quick. It's pretty small. It's like it's almost pocket sized.
It is.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep, it is. It's by Parallax Press. So, How to Connect, Thich Nhat Hanh. So, good read.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
I love you too.
Yay.
Let's go watch a football game.